Om. Om Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalam Achalam Sarvadhi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Om Samastajana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Hari Om, everybody. So we last time we saw the secondary rules of meditation of dhyana that Bhagwan is giving, and there he says yoga is not possible for one who eats too much or eats too less or sleeps too much and sleeps too less. Even forget meditation, but even our ordinary life, if we eat too much and get stomach indigestion, then you won't be able to work. Or if you're too hungry, then you don't have the energy to work. So what to talk about meditation, which is a much subtler act. If we sleep too much, if we sleep in late, we might be late for work. We'll get lethargic. And if we, especially in the seat of meditation, if you haven't slept well, the first thing you're going to do is fall asleep. Because the minute you try to relax your mind and body, is going to go to sleep. So that's why Bhagwan is saying that yukta, that's why he used the word yukta in the next verse 17, yukta ahara and vihara. Yukta means what is needed must be eaten. Whatever, how much rest you need, you must take that much rest. Ahara, I told you, is intake from all the sense organs. Those the indulgence must be avoided. Best is to follow the 80-20 rule. Once in a while, you let because we are not at that stage. We are not at that, we are at the stage of Arjuna. So, but 80% as spiritual seekers, as followers of Vedanta, as followers of Bhagavad Gita, 80% of the time at least we must try and control. Once in a while you can let go, 20%. So ahara is intake, vihara is output. Depending on the ahara, depending on the intake will be the output. So if the ahara, the intake is controlled, automatically output also will be controlled. Because if you've worked very like overworked yourself, then to sit in the seat of meditation, you're going to be very tired. That is the idea. Yukta cheshtas, yukta, everything should be yukta is moderation, and yukta is what is needed. So if somebody needs 8 hours of sleep, maybe you can do with 6. So just because he's sleeping 8, you don't have to. So what is good for you, what suits your own body, what suits your routine, that we must decide. Not that somebody else is sleeping only, like Gurudev slept only 3-4 hours, so I will also sleep. That is not possible for us to do. Okay, so whatever yukta swapna, I told you, swapna here means sleep. So whatever sleep is needed, you did. Avabodha yogi bhavatu dukkha, killer of sorrows. Even in our ordinary life also, when we lead a very disciplined life, when we lead a life where we do not indulge in anything, health will generally be good, right? So that's why it said, and I told you this very particularly, please do not think that killer of dukkha means no sorrow will come to you. That's absolutely not possible. Because sorrow is coming or happiness is coming because of our past karmas. Okay, but these type of, the thing is also when we follow Vedanta, see, there is one which is an adhyatmic strength. Adhyatmic strength is mental strength. So when the sorrows come, if we have the strength to face them, that sorrow won't feel as much. Very simple example I'll give you. If you have the strength in your body, even if you're carrying like a 20 kilo or a 20-pound weight, in the gym we see this, 35 pounds, it is not sorrowful to you because your body has the strength to carry it. But now your body doesn't have the strength, and somebody is asking you to carry that much weight, your body will have dukkha. That is how it is. So you become strong, and here there is no question of physical strength, mental strength. You become strong even no matter what sorrow comes. And now we'll read that description today. No matter what sorrow comes, you'll be able to face it. That is the idea. Okay. Ahara, I told you there should be jati shuddhi, nimitta shuddhi, and ashraya shuddhi. So when food is freshly cooked in clean vegetables, clean vessels, and then when the person is joyful while cooking, that, see the vibrations, they talk of vibrations, right? So you don't want to be cooking for why I should do this, and complain, then those vibrations go in the food also. So you cook happily, joyfully, and this. Now he says that yada viniyatam chittam, once yada and tada is there, when this well-controlled mind, where the mind is not allowed, I told you, to run in space, time, and objects. There's only three things where the mind is running into. When it is not allowed to run that way, then chittam atmani eva avatishtati. This mind is then considered to be, because it is not running, it is staying at one place, and that place is in Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavan will say, put it in me. But it's in the self, Vedantic itself. Understand, it is not the form of Krishna that we are doing. This is Vedanta. This is not bhakti. This is jnana, not bhakti. In bhakti, if the bhakti, you put your mind in your Ishtadevata. That's fine. That's allowed. But this, what here Bhagavan means, Atma. In Atmani eva tish. Atmani here is self. So that mind is then sitting at one place, as though, okay, sitting. And this, what happens, nispraha and sarva kamebhya, when you become, kama, I told you, is desire, kamana or kama, desire to have something which you don't have. You can never have a desire for something that you have. So there is a desire, you can have desire for having more. Like, of course, people have so much money, then they want more money. So they think I don't have that much money. So what I don't have. And then spraha is the longing to experience, to enjoy that thing again and again. So these two things, that's where the mind gets very, very agitated, very, very chanchala. It is fickle, it runs here and there. When this is not, it's not there, then the mind is said to be resting in the self. So there are four things here. Control the mind, and the control will come when you become devoid of desires and devoid of spraha. So at least we can reduce it at our stage, because devoid means then you're realized only. So there are no desires and no spraha, then this thing. Okay. So and then Bhagwan in 19 gave a simile, a metaphor or a simile of a lamp. So I think we explained this. The oil lamp has a container. That container is the mind. The oil is the love or devotion that we have. Oil is sticky. In Updesh Sar, Ajya Dharaya Strotasa Samam, Bhagwan Raman Maharshi says, Ajya is like ghee or oil. It is sticky. And when oil you pour, it flows in a single, there is no break, because it's viscous, the liquid, the oil, and it sticks. So he says, like a flow of oil, that flow of thought. What is mind? Mind is a flow of thought. So that mind should flow like the oil. So the more love you have for something, the more the mind will be flowing towards that. We see that, the people we love, the objects we love, our mind constantly goes there. So that oil is that love that you have for the self, meditation, realization, then you will keep that mind there. The wick is the intellect, and the match is the source of knowledge. So it is Guru, Bhagavad Gita. Now Bhagavad Gita we are studying. So that match is this knowledge from the Gita. So this is how we do it. And the flame, I told you why it is, and the wind is the desires. Okay, that's why when that flame is protected with I think I did tell you in Sandeepani, because the fans in India, the fans are going on, like in our Sandeepani, when we were studying, every lamp had this glass cover. It's open on the top, but the glass. So we light a lamp and then we'll put that cover to protect the flame. So the winds of desires, because he is devoid of kama, right? Kama is desire. We saw sarva kama nispraha. That is what is the wind. Because some mind is steady, and then suddenly this desire comes to do this. Suddenly this desire comes to longing for something. The mind will flicker. It's compared to a flame, because I told you the flame, though it appears to be the same, it is not the same. Where it is each moment, it is using a different drop of oil and a different piece of wick. That's why you see that the wick will burn down and the oil will finish at one point, right? So if it was just the same flame, it's not. Same way, the mind also is like that. Mind is flow of thought, it is. So there are different thoughts. But now what we are doing is we are keeping it at one place. We are keeping it like that flickerless flame, even though the mind is actually changing, right? In normal. So now we are keeping it there. That is what dhyana is. That is what meditation is. Now the next three verses, they are again one line, so we will see them together. They are the description of a realized master, of a person, a yogi who has done meditation and realized the final goal. What is the final goal? Is to see your oneness with the self. So that goal now he has gained after doing all this. All right? Clear? Any questions? Okay. Yes, Neil.
Sorry. The mind was the container of the
Container of the thing, yeah.
of the
And the oil is the love that is inside the mind.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, because unless you love something, unless you like something, you're not going to do it.
Yes. Yeah. And so mind is container because it is
which is filled with the love for God, or love for self, or love for meditation, or love for your Ishta Devata.
Oh.
And the wick is the intellect.
Okay.
Okay. And where is that love coming from? It is coming from the knowledge. So that matchstick
is the knowledge.
Is the knowledge.
Okay.
All right. All right. Yatro paramate chittam niruddham yoga sevaya yatra chaivatmanatmanam pashyanyatmani tushati sukhamatyantikam yattad buddhigrahyamatīndriyam veti yanna chaivayam. What is the next word? Buddhigrahya. Veti yatra na chaivayam stitaschalati tatvatah yam labdhva chaparam labham manyate nadikam tatah yasmin stito na dukkhena gurunapi vichalyate. When the mind, restrained by the practice of yoga, attains quietude, and when seeing the self by the self, he's satisfied in his own self, then what happens? When he, the yogi, feels that infinite bliss, which can be grasped by the pure intellect and which transcends the senses, wherein established he never moves from the reality, which having obtained, he thinks there is no other superior to it, wherein established, he is not moved even by heavy sorrow. This is the description of a realized master, Astita Prajna, as we saw in chapter 2. The 18 verses, the last 18 verses which Bhagwan gave, he's describing now in 3 verses. So when the mind restrained by the practice of yoga is dharana. Parallel to this in Yoga Sutras is dharana. So dharana is the practice of keep. I told you, mind is running in space-time objects. The practice to keep it at one place is dharana. And that practice has to be done. Even that practice is very, because why? The mind is running. There also I told you, the mind has got this Mudha, Vikshipta and Kshipta. So Mudha Bhumi is where the mind is very tamasic and it'll fall asleep right away. Okay. So you have to, that's why you do those secondary rules, that you have enough sleep, enough rest, don't overwork yourself, don't this. And then when you sit in the seat of meditation, at least you won't fall asleep. Number one. Second is, when you control your desires, the winds of desires are not there, then this vikshipta bhumi, visheshena kshipta, where it is rajasic, the mind will not run in time. It won't run because the desires are not there. The desire is only to sit and meditate. So it won't run. And then you keep it at one place. Now, dharana is the practice, and dhyana is when you reach the fulfillment of that practice, where you are able to hold the mind at one place for a long period of time. That's what dhyana is. That's actual dhyana. Okay. So this practice attains quietude. So he's doing practice dharana, attains quietude is dhyana. And when seeing the self by the self, I'm sure in your book, the first self is the capital S and the small s. So seeing the self, because who is seeing the self is the ego. The small self S is the ego. Okay, but who is meditating? The ego is meditating. Remember that first. Okay, so this seeing the self by the self is samadhi. That is samadhi. So there's dharana, practice. So you do dharana, you practice keeping the mind at one place, then you achieve the fulfillment of that practice. And this doesn't happen in one day, huh? This takes births and births. So we can start the practice now, and then maybe in some future birth we'll get it. But of course, in the verse, in one shot only, Bhagavan is going to say that, because he can't wait for births and birth. There's no time. So dharana is there, the practice is there, and the practice, what will help the practice is all those primary and secondary rules. So we saw those rules, right? That's why the rules are given there. They're for us. When you study Upanishad, those of you who are studying Upanishad, I'll tell you will know that Shruti doesn't give any practice secondary rules, and straight she will come to this verse. Straight. Because there the student is totally, very, very qualified. Here we are not. We are Arjun. So practice, then keep the mind at that place. And when you keep that mind at one place, when you do dhyana for a long period of time, then what will happen is it will come to recognize its oneness. And that is what samadhi is. Samadhi, the intellect. Sama, it becomes totally equanimous. It's totally one with the pure self. And then what happens? He's satisfied in his own self. He's experiencing that bliss. We use the word bliss for ananda because ananda, happiness, is an opposite of sorrow. So it is not happiness, it is bliss. Bliss is something which is beyond happiness and sorrow. So once he experiences that bliss, and we see this in the life of Raman Maharshi. See, at 16, he withdrew means withdrew from his body, prana, senses, everything. And he experienced that bliss for a little while. How much time we don't know, but he experienced that. The minute he experienced that, he left everything and went off. Because then you come to know that there really is nothing other than this. And if I can get that bliss, I don't need a job, I don't need any education, I don't need any money, I don't need any food, because he has transcended the pranas, he has transcended all the levels. So no hunger, no thirst at that level. So this is what Bhagavan is saying here. But like I said, it is a long process. Practice, then keep it there, and then samadhi, go into samadhi. That means you will become one with. So in dhyana, it is savikalpa samadhi. Dhyana is, aham brahmasmi, I am Brahman. That is the Vedantic dhyana. This is not anything else. In Vedantic dhyana, Vedanta, when you do, it has to be Brahman. It cannot be I am Krishna, I am Rama. It cannot be like that. If you can do that also, but the result is different. Here, if you want final realization, it has to be that I am Brahman. So you keep the mind there for a long, long, long period of time. And finally, what happens is only Brahman remains and the I goes away. The I is the ego. I am Brahman. I, me is Brahman. But you've kept, as you think, so shall you become. So if you keep on thinking that you're Brahman for long periods of time in the seat of meditation, one day in one life, some life, not one life, multiple lives, in one life, you will become that Brahman. And this is what this is. Seeing the self by the self, he's satisfied in his own self. Why won't he be? He's experiencing. What is he experiencing? Now, next verse. So, sukham atyantikam yat yada. Sukham atyantikam. Sukha, this sukha word, duk sukha and dukkha, see, there's got two syllables. Su and kham. Do and kham. Kham means space. Su means good. Do means bad. So sukham is good space, dukkham is bad space. So when your mind is in a good space, it is happy. Now, it is in the best place ever because it is with the Supreme Lord. It is with the pure consciousness, right? And there is this atyantikam, extreme bliss, extreme sukha. Okay? What is this extreme? Atyantik. What is atyantikam? The happiness that we are used to, which is very common to us, there is of three kinds. There is one is sattvic, one is rajasic, and one is tamasic sukha. There's tamasic sukha also. Huh? Tamasic sukha is there too. So sattvic sukha is that which arises out of knowledge. So, when you read, say, read Bhagavad Gita, read a scriptural text, listen to a scriptural lecture, even when I talk about it, I actually, even if I'm feeling low, I've noticed I'm feeling low. So what I do is I kind of open my Bhagavad Gita or whatever lecture and I feel better. If I'm feeling low before coming coming to class, I feel much better when I've spoken. So that is sattvic sukh though. Rajasic sukh is from the objects. So I have, just the bank balance, that happy. I have so a big house, I have a car, I have a this, I have a that. Objects, dependent on objects. And tamasic sukh is laziness, is sleepy, oversleeping, drugs. Why do you think people do drugs? Why do you think people smoke? Right? They think they feel that relief. That is tamasic. Now, in all these three, there is a dependency. There is a dependency. So that dependency, even it is best to be dependent on scriptures. Okay, there is no doubt. So sattvic sukha is the best. Nevertheless, it is a dependent sukha. So that independent sukha that if you want, which is atyantika, that is only in the self. And that is what is referred to as Shuddha Sattva. In Vivek Churamani, we have studied this idea. From Sattva, you need to move to Shuddha Sattva. So from Tamas, you cannot go into Sattva. You cannot. You need to bring your mind into Rajas. And then from Rajas into Sattva. And then you stay in Sattva for a long, long, long period of time. And that is what is meant by this dhyana. Because in dhyana, in meditation, your mind, you are trying to make it sattvic. Because what is a sattvic mind? Sattvic mind is a pure mind. What is a pure mind? Less thoughts. So the less and less and less thoughts you have. So if you have only one thought, it is now practicing becoming Shuddha Sattva. That's the practice. These three, these are sukham. Yes, they are also happiness. I feel happy. I feel happy having objects. I feel happy when I sleep. Even in sleep, we are very happy in sleep. That's ignorance, out of ignorance. But we are happy. But atyantika, Bhagavan is saying, sukham atyantikam. So atyantikam means no dependence. Absolutely no dependence. So it is beyond sattva. Om in our chart we have seen is beyond sattva, beyond vasanas. So it's beyond sattva also. But our practice at our level should be, that's why, to increase more and more sattva in the mind, which will help meditation, which will help all these further things. Okay. Now, buddhi grayam atindriyam. Now, what is buddhi? Intellect. Grayam, which can be grasped by the buddhi. This we have to understand. Atindriyam is very easy. It is beyond the senses. So when I told you sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic sukha, it is all dependent on senses, right? I'm reading, I'm talking, and now I feel happy. Or object, I obtain an object, or I get an object, or whatever, I buy something, I feel happy. So it is through the senses, right? I see something I like, I go, I purchase, I'm happy. Or I sleep, or I do drugs. All that is through the senses. Now, this atyantikam sukham, so atindriyam is not dependent on the senses. So there's nothing, there's no, like, I'll read Bhagavad Gita, then I'll feel good. There's no, you've gone beyond Bhagavad Gita also. This person has gone beyond that. So that is atindriyam. But what is buddhi grayam? Intellect, because we have always said that the pure self is beyond the intellect also, mind intellect. So buddhi grayam is a verb. Grahan means to grasp. That's what it is. It's which can be grasped by reason. Grasping is a verb. Now in realization there is no verb. So the way we understand this grasping is the buddhi. What is it realizing? That I myself am the pure self. So there's nothing to grasp. Understand this point. It's a subtle point, because when you see some of you may think, some of you may not have the thought, but pure self is beyond mind and intellect. Then how the intellect grasping is not the intellect, oh, there is Brahman, and it is not like that. It is himself recognize, the intellect itself recognizing itself to be the subject and not the object anymore. And that is nirvikalpa samadhi. Savikalpa samadhi is where the intellect, because why do we say intellect? Because the ego is in the intellect. So that's where the ego is saying, I'm Brahman, and that's the best thing to say, huh? Instead of saying I'm body, and I'm body, that is low. So I am Brahman. Now what happens is that that ego realizes itself to be Brahman. And that is what is buddhi grayam. But it's not done by the senses. You have transcended the senses, because beyond the senses, you have gone into the intellect. Senses represent the body, by the way, because the senses are located in the body. Okay. All right. Clear? The buddhi grayam should be understood. Veti yatra na chaivayam. So veti, once he knows, once the intellect knows. And how knowing? Again, knowing is a verb, but it's not knowing, it is realizing. Okay, so veti yatra na chaiva, it doesn't. Sthithas chalati tattvata, it is so steady. It is definitely not going to move, because it is now experiencing something which was never experienced before. And that experience is so good, it's beyond anything. Why would the intellect want to move? If you find a very comfortable position, you go anywhere, you find a comfortable, are you going to leave that chair and go look for something uncomfortable? That is our true nature. See, it's like this. I've given this example, but there are new people, so I'll give the same example again. It's like this. The normal state of our body should be painless. Okay? It's not. Now, when you're says totally painless, does ever the thought come to 1 month, no headache, maybe I should get one now? Does anybody thinks? Please tell me. But you get a headache even just for 2 minutes, and you're running for Tylenol or something. So what is the natural state of your body? You will never complain. Now, in the seat of meditation, he has realized his true self. This yogi has realized what his real nature is. Would he want to move from there? Do I want to move out of my painless body state? Do I ever want to move out? Body is not supposed to have any disease. Do I want to move out and oh, it's okay, let me get some disease? Do I say that? But the minute something goes wrong with my body, I'm running here, there, and everywhere. Why? Because that is not my natural state. That is not what is not your natural state. You will. So that's why also we say, see, the same thing with happiness and sorrow. Happiness is our natural state. Why? Because we are that Satchit Ananda Brahma. That is our natural state. And that's why when we are happy, do we ever go looking for sorrow? Do we go ever looking for something which will cause us pain? Do we do that? No. But you are in sorrow, you will always try to go look to get out of it. How much of this makes sense to everybody? Right? That is what it is. Your natural state once you gain. Now, this is, we think, we are at the body level. So we are giving body examples. That body is, everybody understands that very well. Anybody have any difficulty understanding that body should be painless? Or do you think, no, body should be in pain? So what? Let it be. No. So what is our real, quote unquote, really real nature? Is that pure self. Now, once I gain it, am I going to move out of there? Simple body also, I'm not willing to move out of my natural state. Why would I move out of my absolute state? No. That's why Bhagavan says here, Sthitas achalati. Sthitaha achalati, there's a sandhi there. Sthitaha and then achalati tatvata. Chala is movement. So he doesn't move from that tattva. Get it? Okay. Then what happens? Moksha, see, the definition of moksha we have given in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, because the reason why are we studying Bhagavad Gita? We should know why we are studying what we are studying also, is moksha. Now, what is moksha? Moksha has got two aspects to it. So I don't know how many of you remember, but there are new people, so I'm going to repeat it. How many of you remember which two aspects moksha has? Raise your hands. There are two aspects to moksha. Nitya?
I'm not sure what you're referring to, JG.
Anybody? Sudha, you want to try? The clue is in the first word of 21.
Sukham. I don't know. I thought moksha is nirvikalpa and savikalpa.
No, that is samadhi. That is the means. Samadhi is the means to moksha is paramananda prapti, atyantika dukkha nivrutti. Always remember, these are the two aspects of moksha. What is moksha? Permanent happiness and permanent removal of sorrow. Permanent is the word there. That's why this sukha that we say, the dependent sukha that I told you, Satvik, is a dependent, so that thing might go away. Dependence is what? There's something, if it is there, I'm happy. If that thing goes away, then what? Then what? So moksha, please remember this definition, write it down, okay? This you must never forget, because why are we doing this dhyana? Why? For moksha, moksha is paramananda prapti, parama ananda prapti, and atyantika dukkha nivrutti. Prapti, gain. Nivrutti, no gain, withdrawal. So param is what? Supreme is what? Non-dependent. Non-dependent. So parama sukha, the permanent place where I will not experience sorrow ever. It's a very high goal. And that is what we are looking for. Are we not looking for something which will make me happy all the time? Tell me, are we not, or somebody is not looking for that sort of happiness? And are we getting it? That is the question. Yeah, no. Why? Because we are always, our happiness has been dependent on something or the other. Even like I said, when I read Bhagavad Gita, then I'm happy or I feel good. That means I'm dependent on, but it's better to be dependent on knowledge, Vedantic knowledge, than dependent on objects, let me tell you. Or people. People also. Yes, Sudha.
This is, Jaya, I thought moksha is the ultimate. How could it be two different facets of moksha at that level, right? Bliss is by alone, stand alone, it's there, nothing else.
Correct.
So I really thought moksha is related to that high level. Now this is a bit complex, if we pray for moksha.
I understand. Parama Ananda Prapti, is it different from Atyantika Dukha Nivrutti? 23 is going to, Bhagavan is going to explain that. Are they different? Think.
No, I don't think so.
They're not different.
Then
They're the
you're
same.
saying two.
Yeah, they're same, but those are the two, they make up moksha. When we define moksha in Vedanta, that is how we define. It's the definition of moksha. What is moksha? Paramananda prapti, atyantika dukkha nivrutti.
Okay, got it.
They
So
both,
it is still one.
it is absolutely one. That is one without a second. There is no doubt about that. Okay. Now, this person has gotten this. Now what happens is, yam labdva chaparam labham. Yam labdva, having gained. So having gained, cha param labham. Param, supreme, he has gained the supreme. Manyate nadikam tataha. He thinks, manyate is coming from mana, mind. He thinks, he knows there can be nothing superior to this. He knows that. Okay. Yasmin stitaha na dukkhena guruna api vichalyate. Once stita, once he stays, stita is coming from stha dhatu, to stay. Once he stays, once he gains, these are all verbs, but once he realizes himself to be the pure self, which means he has gotten moksha, then what happens? Guru here, Guru is not our teacher. Guru is big. Guru, one meaning of Guru, the word Guru is big. So here it means big. So what happens is, the biggest of the sorrows, na vichalate. Again, chala, he doesn't shake even when biggest of the sorrows come. I'll give you a very simple example to understand this. And all this has been described in, for those of you who have not been with us for chapter 2, please listen to the last 18 verses of chapter 2. They're on YouTube. So listen to those. This is from there. But anyway, now think about this. And I don't know if you have experienced this. You are dreaming. Okay, it's a dream. And in the dream, some sorrowful thing is happening, because anything can come in the dream. But while dreaming, you also are aware that you're dreaming. Has anybody experienced? Dhanya is saying, yeah, correct. And I believe you, because I know I have experienced it too, right? So this yogi who has now, he has become a Sthita Prajna. Yogi is a practitioner. Sthita Prajna is one who has fulfilled the practice. So he has realized. So now what happens to him is, this entire world now, it is an illusion. He knows. See, we have only intellectually, we are hearing it. This is an illusion. But we don't think it is an illusion. We think it is very, very real. Right? But now he is, so for him, he's looking at a dream. Whatever is happening, he looks at it as a dream. That is the thing. You're dreaming, as well as you know that you're dreaming. Will that whatever is happening in the dream affect you? Because you know, it's, oh, that's a dream. Oh, that's a dream. It's not affecting you, right? That is what this is. Therefore, no matter what big sorrow comes, because sorrow comes to him. Why? I told you, even for a Sthita Prajna, heart issues are there, cancer, Ramakrishna Paramahansa had cancer, Raman Maharshi had something else, Gurudev had heart issues, because it is the prarabdha of the body. Body prarabdha is from the past. That the Sthita Prajna cannot shake. The prarabdha karma, the realized master cannot shake it. He cannot avoid it. Prarabdha karma is only finishes by exhaustion. You have to go through it. So he goes through it. But for him, it is like, oh, it's happening to my body. What has it got to do with me? When it happens to me, oh, yo, I am this thing, this, now I'm running helter-skelter. Which at our stage, we must run because we have not reached that stage. So please do not stop your medication. Please, if you're not well, go to your doctor. Because this I'm talking of the highest state. That's why he says, na guruna api vichalyate. So the biggest guru, big sorrow comes to him, he doesn't shake, because to him, it is like he is looking at a dream. Okay. 20, 21, and 22, they are like one line. As you can see, there are all dots. So it goes one. That's why they go all together. Okay. The essence of all that is this person who was now practicing meditation, practicing dhyana. That's why Gurudev used to say, the people who practice meditation for stress relief, right? So he used to say those who practice meditation for stress relief, they're shortchanging themselves, because meditation can take you to moksha. But you're only stopping at a middle stage, stress. Oh, I'm now relaxed. I want to meditate. I want to relax. You can relax just by going into deep sleep also, right? So that's why meditation can take you to the highest. It ultimately nididhyasanam is there. Shravana manana nididhyasana. Ultimate moksha comes only from nididhyasana. Okay. So he says that when that mind, which was yoga sevaya here is meditation, mind not allowed to run. Yoga sevaya, the meaning in that verse 20, it means where the mind is not allowed to run in space, time, and objects. So niruddham, it is as if it has come to a grinding halt. As if it has come to a halt. Now, this grinding halt, for us, we need practice. Of course, when you're driving and suddenly you see something, you brake and you come to a grind. The mind cannot come like that to a halt. It has to be, we have to practice bringing it there. But as and when it comes, and then it stays there at that spot, at that one spot, aham brahmasmi, he becomes Brahman, there is nothing to become Brahman, but for lack of it, he realizes, that's why better word is, the intellect realizes itself, the ego realizes itself to be the supreme. Right now, the ego thinks I'm body, I'm female, I'm male, I'm this, I'm that, I'm da, 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 da. Now, all that thing is gone. The ego realizes I am the pure self. That is Atyantikam Sukham. And it is beyond the senses, but grasped, understand grasp, not as a word, not as a verb, as a realization of that intellect, that it is nothing but the pure self. That is a realization. And once it realizes that, it is not going to move, because we do not want to move from our natural state of affairs. You take the body, you take the mind. Mind is, as long as mind is peaceful, you never ask for let something happen and let me get agitated. We just get agitated for no, but we don't. That is the principle there. And this, now he has reached the final natural state where there is nothing beyond that. Why will he move? Why will he move? He'll never move. We see that in the life of Raman Maharshi, all the realized masters. That's it. Raman Maharshi never came out of the cave, never left the place. Even this one in Pondicherry, Aurobindo, that's what I heard somewhere. Or he went first, it seems. He used to only, there is an ashram there. I have not been, but there are compound. And he was only in the compound for so many years. And then the last 25 years, if I'm not mistaken, he only spent in his room. Think, if we are ill and the doctor says, please take bed rest, we will go out of our mind. And yet we want TV or some radio or something there. Sri Aurobindo, that people don't become great just like that. There are a lot of tapas they have done. Last 25 years of his life, he did not come out of his bedroom, it seems. Think. So why? Because he found his natural state. Why will he want to go out? Raman Maharshi, same thing. What is there outside the cave, which is not here? I'm in bliss only. Where to go? Full bliss it is, na? Consciousness is all pervading. Why I should go? So we are running because we think, oh, happiness is there. That's why we keep on running here, there, and everywhere. There's no need to run. So he doesn't move. And then once he gets that, he realizes that there is nothing superior to this. And no matter what sorrow comes to him, he doesn't shake. He doesn't move. Okay? Clear? Now, the next verse gives the best. In my father's writing, there is the greatest definition of yoga is written. This is my father's writing. So as some of you know, that I'm reading from the books that my father used when he studied. So this is a very, very unique. This is very unique to Bhagavad Gita. This is very unique to all scriptural texts. This description. So we study this. Tam vidya dukkha sanyoga yoga viyogam yoga sadnitam sanishchayena yoktavyaha yogo nirvinna chetasa. Let that be known. Okay, so let's know what? The severance from the union with pain is yoga. What is yoga? Yoga yuj, to join with the higher. Okay, this yoga should be practiced with determination and with a mind steady and undespairing. With a mind steady and undespairing. See, one thing Gurudev has said, miseries come to us, but to be miserable is our choice. Miseries will come. Sorrows will come. I've told you many, many times. Sorrows will come. Why? Coming from past karmas. So no. But in the present, whether I should get affected by that misery or not is my choice. That choice we do have. And this is what he's saying. What is the greatest yoga is to separate ourselves from the sorrow. Dukkha viyoga is sukha. So dukkha viyoga, he's not saying dukkha, no dukkha is sukha. See the use of words, okay? Dukkha viyoga, dukkha means dukkha is there, sorrow is there, okay? Sorrow is there. No, sorrow cannot go anywhere. If it is meant for us, it will come. Just yesterday, in our lecture we heard, things that you like, they run away from us. Things that you dislike, they run towards us. That is how it is. So then I'm running towards what I like. I'm running away, but those things are opposite. So like, they're running away from us. What I like, what I dislike is running towards me. Nobody can avoid that. But that sorrow, I can disassociate myself from that sorrow. That is my choice. That choice we have. And that exercising that choice is sukha. Exercising that choice. We don't exercise that choice. Because first of all, we don't even know that we have a choice. We are so identified with the body and the mind and the intellect. We think that I am the body, mind, and intellect. So anything that happens to the body is happening to me. Anything that my children say to me or my friends or this thing, they behave in a certain way, they don't behave in a certain way, then immediately I am affected. So this is see, when we were in Sandipani and Guruji had his bypass surgery. So 6 weeks he was asked to take rest. So he was staying in Sandipani, and we were very, very fortunate. Just after 1 week or 10 days, he said, I'm going to come and do satsang. So all of us in the evening, we had satsang with him for 6 weeks. Literally, I'm telling you, 6 weeks finished. The next day he left town. Next day. Like, people, you can take rest. You had a full bypass open heart surgery, and doctor said 6 weeks. Ho gaya 6 weeks. Main ja raha hu. Gaye. He went off. Okay. But the 6 weeks. So in that 6 weeks, one day he said to us that, why people like sorrow, he said. He said, people, they actually like sorrow. All of us were like, excuse me? Like, he said, yes. Yes, that is why they don't come to Vedanta. He said, they don't come here because we are telling them the way out of sorrow, but they like sorrow. I was I was totally lost. It actually took me 2 years to find the answer because, I said to, he was, I was like, excuse me, I don't like sorrow. So so he looked at me when going, and I said, I did this. He knows that I didn't understand. He just walked by. He said, you think for yourself. So I started asking my batchmates, like, how do people like sorrow? And then one answer I got, oh, I like to watch sorrow movies, sorrowful. I said, but I don't. I don't like to go for a movie and cry. And somebody said something, it didn't make sense at all. Then I came and then I came back here, and then Swami Ishwananji had come, and I said, Swamiji, this is what Guruji said. What exactly? I don't understand how people like sorrow. He said, but he said it. No, you ask him only. He said. Then next year, Swami Shantananji came. Then I asked him again, because it was bothering me. 2 years it kept on bothering me. How can people like sorrow? How can, like, if I am, So I asked Swami Shah, I said, Swamiji, this is what he said, it's been bothering me. It's been 2 years now and I still haven't found the answer. Then he said to me, go to chapter 6. Then chapter 6, this is, we say we don't like sorrow, but we like to get attached. That is the key to that. Attachment brings sorrow. What is, I'm attached to my children and I think it is love. Okay, I think it is love. That's mistake. That's a mistake. So then this attachment creates sorrow for me. So that's why he says, because the minute you come to Vedanta, the first instruction is give up attachment. Now I like attachment. I don't want to give it up. So that's why Guruji said people like sorrow. That's why they don't come into this. Or those who come, then when we start telling them these things, they say, what is this? They're too difficult, and they leave. And they leave. So this is the so the thing is, okay, the other thing is the sorrow. Where exactly is this sorrow felt? Where is it felt? In the mind, right? Even whatever happens extra, even if my body is not well, then the sorrow is felt in the mind. Now, one highest level thinking, what is the mind? Mind is a flow of thought. Is the thought real? Highest. So that sorrowful thought that you are getting miserable for is actually false. The thought is false. Now something false, you are becoming totally miserable and you're now ruining your life. Highest standpoint. Second thing, as per this, if you were to stick to this verse, disassociate yourself from thought, because that is what is the path to moksha. That is what dhyana is. What is dhyana? What is meditation? In the context of this chapter, in the context of what topic is going on, we have to dissociate ourselves from all other thoughts except the I am Brahman thought, right? Purify the mind, bring it to one, make it single pointed. Not what we do is we'll make it single pointed into this is what she said to me, this is what I got hurt, she insulted me, he insulted me, he didn't say this. People smile, we get hurt. People don't smile, also we get hurt. Why you never smiled at me? Why is why? All kinds of things, right? It's all in the form of thought. Either you realize that thought is false, which is at a higher level, either you realize that, or you disassociate yourself from thought. That's why in deep sleep, no matter what sorrow you have, do you feel it in deep sleep? So everything is a play of the mind. Swami Swarupananji has told us this. See, he has got this some spinal defect. And when he was 18, 19, in his young days, lot of pain. Even now, he has to have his daily massages. Like, it's amazing the amount of traveling he does and everything. But his physical body, there is a lot of paraphernalia that goes with him. It's okay, but at least he's doing it, right? So that time he was in a lot of pain. He was young, 18, 20 years. He had this pain. Then he asked Gurudev. He was very close to Gurudev. He was very lucky. So he was very close to Gurudev. So he asked Gurudev, so much pain, how to bear. Then Gurudev just said one thing to him. Where is the pain in deep sleep? That's what the reply Gurudev gave him. So what it is the pain that you feel is because of your mind. It's through the mind. If you disassociate yourself from the mind, you will not feel the pain. What are these painkillers? There are doctors here, right? Painkillers, what are they doing? They're numbing the nerve endings or something, right? Good. So see, you take a painkiller, Tylenol or whatever, and then we don't feel the pain. That doesn't mean the pain has gone away, but the nerve that is connecting that pain to the brain or whatever is now numbed. That is what is required to be done. That is what this verse is saying. You numb yourself. You disassociate yourself from thought, because pain is being caused by thought. Pain, the sorrow is caused in the mind. It is caused by thought. Now you disassociate yourself from the thought, and that itself is sukha. That itself is sukha. Get it? That's why this is the most unique definition of sukha. We'll talk about nirvinna chetasa and all. We'll talk about it more next time. There is a class next weekend, next Sunday. Okay, so I know it's a long weekend, but I do not cancel classes. So I hope everybody's okay. If anybody is traveling, then this lecture will go on YouTube, so you can watch it. But there is a class. There's no Bal Vihar as I understand it. So those who are Bal Vihar parents, the children don't have a class, but we children have a class because we are children too when it comes to Vedantic studies. So ओम स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महिं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथ्वी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः ओम सर्वेषां स्वस्ति भवतु सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ओम असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ओम शांति शांति शांतिः हरिः ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम. Prem Sai, one request, the last part, cut it from the YouTube video. Huh? Just keep it up to the verse. Okay. All right. The questions I don't think should be put there. Good. All right, guys, have a great week. No class tomorrow. Please remember, those who are attending the Monday class, those who are attending the Friday class, no class on Friday. And again, the Friday class people, the following weekend, there will be the Friday class. Okay. I'm telling you, I'm putting you on notice right now. So
is there Saturday class next weekend as well?
yes. Yes, they asked me. They wanted a break. Everybody wants a break. I said last Saturday we had a break. No more breaks. So Saturday there is class. Sunday there is class. Monday only there is no class because Calgary doesn't want it. So Monday 2 classes are we are skipping, but Friday only this Friday, and that's not because of the long weekend. It's because of the Yajna, Calgary Yajna. Okay. All right. Doesn't affect the people who are attending only Sunday classes. Okay. So I see a lot of, are they Bal Vihar parents, Prem Sai then? Saumya, Dhanya, Shrestha.
Yes.
I know Sweda.
Yes,
is... Good. Good. I'm happy. I'm happy. This class is actually meant for you guys. You guys means parents of the Bal Vihar children. This class is actually meant for parents of the Bal Vihar class, but because of Zoom, now we have got so many other people, which is great, I'm happy about that, but that's why I'm, okay.
Dhanya ji, I don't think you are you a Bal Vihar parent?
No.
No, right?
Oh, okay.
Do you want to, I'll post my email in the chat. Do you want to send me your email details and stuff like that so I can add all the lists and everything like that?
Yeah, make sure you guys are on the WhatsApp group so that if we send out notices, then you'll get it. And so, okay, so then the thing is that, like I said, like I also said in the previous Friday class, the membership is mandatory only for Bal Vihar parents. But if you would like, because the Zoom classes, everything is costing us. So if those who do not have children in Bal Vihar but would like to support us can take individual membership of $150 a year. And the year now starts in September and goes up to next August. So if you would like to support us, because my straight off my classes, there is no charge. Okay, there is no membership fee, there is no charge, there's nothing. But if you'd like to, because the mission is running all these classes, we have our administrator, we are putting it on YouTube, etc. So if you would like to support us, then you can send your membership fees to Prem Sai, okay, treasurer.